Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. My name is Crown, and today I'm going to read you some very interesting stories that I hope that you're gonna love. And now, without further ado, let's go! So a little background before we start this. I was born with type 1 diabetes. This in turn has caused me to have an extreme thirst a lot of times in my life. I can't tell how many times I've been doing a daily walk for exercise and I've had to run home or to the nearest vending machine for water. Last August, me and my family were taking a trip to Dubai for vacation. We have a timeshare there. So we made it to the airport and did the usual stuff. Then we made it to the TSA. I can legally bring either a frozen water bottle or empty bottles and fill them up later. I took one frozen and two empty bottles. Anyways, comes the entitled kid. The entitled kid looks like he's like 6 or 7 years old. "Mommy, I'm hot." I have just begun to send my frozen bottle through the TSA when I hear this. "Mommy, can I have that water bottle?" At this point, I glance over and the entitled mother is on her phone, face deep of course. "Mommy, go figure it out," she tells him. And the entitled kid comes towards my direction. He takes the bottle straight from my hands. "Hey, you can't take my stuff." "Too bad, finders keepers. I brought that from home." I begin to reach for my water and the entitled kid starts to run back to his mom, still on her phone. And he says that I tried to take his water. "Mommy, that man tried to take my water." The entitled mother looks up with that classic Karen face and begins to walk towards me, passing everyone in the line. "Excuse me, do not take my son's water." "Ma'am, this was my water bottle. I have type 1 diabetes." "I don't care what you are. You took my son's water." "Yeah, mommy." "Shut up, kid." Cue the TSA agent coming in. "Excuse me, ma'am. You are causing a disturbance here. I'm going to have to ask you to stop, or I will escalate the matter." I'm getting pissed at this point because if my water melts, TSA takes it and doesn't let it go through. "This man took my son's water bottle from my son," the entitled mother says. I say, "Sir, I have type 1 diabetes and I'm very thirsty all the time." "Don't lie in front of my son. It sets a bad example." The agent says, "Ma'am, this is your last chance before I call airport security." "Fine, I'll just take it myself." The entitled mother uses all of her force in her body to grab the bottle from the TSA agent's hands, and she storms off back in line. "I'm sorry about this, sir. I'll get your water bottle back to you." The TSA agent then radios for security. Moments later, two security guys come out and talk to her. One of the security guys tries to take the water bottle. "Hey, you jerks, get off of me." The entitled mother then tries to flat out book it to escape the security guards, and she gets a good 10 feet before they tase her. Her son is screaming and several people have had to move out of the way for security. I see the entitled mother get dragged off to a room about 30 or 40 feet away and her son is escorted to the same room by another guard. And the security guys also took my water bottle, as I was supposed to get it back. TSA says, "Sir, I'll have to have you step to the side until you get your belongings returned. Shouldn't be long." It has been about 25 to 30 minutes until the bottle is returned to me, and it's starting to melt. I go through the line and TSA has to confiscate my bottle. Once I get through, I'm fuming with how this whole ordeal went. I have lost 45 minutes of my time and my plane now leaves in about 30. A stranger happens to have noticed the ordeal and meets me outside TSA. "Hey man, I saw the whole situation with that crazy beast woman, so I got you another bottle of water." At this point, I was so thirsty that I downed the water in 3 seconds flat, just like those YouTube challenges. Shout out to the amazing stranger. Before I start, I need to lay down some context. I'm a 20-year-old college student who dances and does parkour in my free time. Everyone on my campus knows who I am and what I do. Most people ask me a few questions and then I'm on my way. Others give me words of encouragement and motivation. But not this person. Also, all of this happens within the course of a week. Now onto the topic at hand. It was a normal day on campus, it's sunny outside and warm, so I decided to get some outdoor training in as a workout. I'm outside doing what students at my school call the yard for about 20-ish minutes before the entitled person, let's call him Dave, approaches me. He asks, "What in the name of ninja bullcrap are you doing?" It's called parkour. It's the French art of movement and very good for the body. That sounds interesting. How long have you been doing this? About 6 years, almost 7. Cool. Since you know so much about it, you wouldn't mind training me, huh? Dude, I don't normally train people, plus I have competitions to prepare for. I wouldn't have the time. So what? You can't miss a competition or two. It's just flipping or jumping off of stuff. Those are the words you should never say to a free runner. If you can't respect the art form that it is, you shouldn't be a part of the community. I grabbed my bag and left to grab something to eat. A few days go by and I hear nothing from him until my phone starts buzzing. Apparently David found my social media accounts and was blowing me up non-stop saying that he deserves to be trained by me and that I'm scared he'll surpass me when he doesn't know anything about what I do. I told him flat out that I will never train him based on the pure fact that he's entitled, disrespectful to the art form, rude and obnoxious. He retaliated by kicking me in my left knee. I tore my ACL a few years back and whenever I train I have to wear a knee brace. Campus security saw the whole ordeal and detained David. Listen to learn, do not disrespect something that someone has put time, energy and money into. Do not be rude when you don't get your way, and do not be entitled, it will always end badly for you. I will start by saying that I have a baby face and have always been mistaken for someone who's very young. Even after graduating high school, as well as having random people approach me asking if I remember them from so-and-so cause I always get mistaken for someone they know from somewhere else. Also during this incident, most people might say he had just made a mistake. But the way he spoke to me even after I told him he's made a mistake, he refused to believe me and even started making claims of theft. When the actual shoplifter was also in the store, actually taking things. Anyway, so I had stopped at Walmart to buy myself a quick lunch for work. Note that I'm still wearing my teal color themed uniform shirt from my job that reads House Depot Cashier Appreciation Month. Also black slacks and shoes along with a purple cap that also has the same logo as store name written on it. While wearing my black one-shoulder work bag that I use to carry my work-related things and lunch. I had just paid for everything and was heading for the exit when a security guard stopped me and asked me to check my things, which I let him and even held out my receipt to prove that I had paid for everything. Security 1 says, "Have you paid for everything yet?" Me still holding my receipt. "Yes, here it is right here. You can look it over if you like." How do I know it's not a fake one or from a different store? Because I just finished paying for it. And if you ask that cashier over there who rang me up, she can tell you I paid for everything. I'm asking because I've gotten reports that there have been thefts around here lately, and the report matches your description. I've shopped here sometimes myself, but most times I come here with my family and I've never stolen anything from here or from any store. Besides, today was the only time I was available to stop by to get lunch. I was told you were in the store yesterday night. I wasn't here last night. I was at home all day. If you keep bad-mouthing me, I'll have you banned from this store. Now unload your bag and give back all the things you just took off the shelves now. I'm telling the truth. If you want to go through my bag and check, I am not going to stop you. But I haven't stolen anything from the store. I just got off work and was just coming in here to buy. I've had enough of your nonsense. I've been here all day and I've seen you repeatedly come in and exit the store with your bag loaded with things that you didn't pay for. I am calling the cops to have you arrested and getting management to have you banned permanently. I tried to reason with him, but he kept ignoring me and radios over management as well as another security to detain me. They reach me and they ask what's happening. Security 1 says, "I've got the shoplifter you told me about." I am not shoplifting. I'm just buying lunch for work. I've got a receipt to prove that I haven't stolen anything. The manager asks, "May I see the receipt?" I hand them the receipt, which Security 1 claims is fake and refuses to believe I wasn't lying, while as Security 2 was double-checking and matching everything in my bag with a receipt. The manager says everything in her bag matches up with a receipt. She's not lying or shoplifting. Please stop restricting her from leaving. But I swear I saw her walking in and out of the store all day and even the past few days. I already told you the past few days that I have been either at home or college, and today was the only day I was available to stop by to get lunch. And I've clearly not been walking in and out if I'm still in uniform. This made the security guard fall silent for saying, "She's clearly lying now. She just said she was here all day and now she's claiming she was at work." The other security guard tells him, "No, that's what you said. She's only said that she hadn't been available to come here the past few days, and up until just now." The manager adds, "If you've seen who's been shoplifting all day, why didn't you bother to stop them or report them and just now decided to step in?" The security guard was about to say something else when the manager stops him due to a call over the radio about needing security and management near the back of the store. The manager has Security 1 go with him to see what the disturbance is, as Security 2 stay with me to hear my side of the story. After they walk away, I tell my side of the story, and as I finish, I get a text from my dad asking why I'm not home yet. To which I speak to my dad and he tells me he's coming to pick me up. After this, Security 1 and the manager are dragging a struggling maybe high school age girl with a backpack full of electronics and more, dressed in loose clothes and tan pants with a pink cap, as well as a few cop cars pulling up behind us. I assume maybe we're cold when they caught her. After the manager and security guard finished speaking to the cops and the girl was taken away, Security 2 confirms my story and Security 1 tries to walk away as quickly as he could. The manager stops him and asks him to apologize to me, which he did. Then the manager told me I was allowed to leave and not banned from the store, and as I stepped outside of the store, my dad pulled up and I told him everything was already stored out. He didn't ask much and just took me home. A few days later, I was there shopping again with my parents and Security 1 was no longer there, and I'm not surprised if he was fired for making false claims as well as threatening someone for a crime they did not commit. A few years ago, I was working casual as a bar manager at a major sports stadium after my housemate, who was running the corporate dining, hooked me up with a job as a nice little side earner. The role was pretty straightforward: turn up, set up the bar, serve beers and snacks, clean up the bar, go home. This made it ideal for university students, particularly international students who could pick up 3 to 5 hour shifts without it causing too much disruption to their studies. While the 5 to 6 staff I managed were continually changing individually, it was mostly Indian international students, as well as the same colleague, Anoop, week in, week out, who was invaluable at keeping the show running. Given my housemate and I lived together and he had hooked me up with a job, I was happy to take on a new person or two per shift who'd never worked in a bar setting before to give them a quick rundown on pouring beer, using the register and so on. If it was one trainee, I'd pair them up with me. 2 trainees, I'd pair the second one up with Anoop. The bar was a members-only bar that had its own private room that came as a perk of the $800 plus membership people were paying to the sports club each year. It meant, along with getting beer in real glassware rather than plastic, that the queues were also much shorter as well, as there were usually a few ex-players kicking around to give the odds speech. During one particular shift, just after the game started, I was doing my thing at one end of the bar when Anoop came up to me and said there was an issue at one of the registers. I went over to see, and the young student there told me that the patron standing opposite the bar had mocked her accent when she tried to explain to him she was still learning how to use a register. The guy looked at me and said he just wanted a beer. Summing the situation up, quickly I leaned into a tool that I had learned from my housemate. "Sorry, based on what my staff member has just told me, you made a comment making fun of her accent. I'd like to believe that's a comment you wouldn't normally make, which leads me to believe you must be intoxicated. However, I'd be happy to serve your friends, but they will only be able to buy one drink at a time. Needless to say, he wasn't happy with this, and after a couple of minutes back and forth, he asked to speak with someone else about the issue. Absolutely, not an issue, I said, and asked the noob to quickly duck off and find the corporate dining manager. After 5 minutes or so of waiting, the game has restarted at this point. So our patron is now missing the game as well. The corporate dining manager, aka my housemate, arrives wearing his lanyard, suit, polished shoes, and so on. I give him a quick summary. The guy pleads his case that he should be allowed to keep drinking here because he's a member and he's paid good money to be there. My housemate hears him out and then says, "Based on what my staff member has told me, you've made a comment towards a member of my team, which is inappropriate, and he's made the right decision to prohibit you from buying any more alcohol at the bar. However, given you've argued that point, and your friends here haven't stopped you from doing so, it leads me to believe that all of you are intoxicated, which means, unfortunately, none of you will be able to be served at this bar for the rest of the night. If you'll excuse me, I will need to get back to the corporate suites. And if there is any further issues, we will have to get security," points to the guy standing at the door who checks everyone's membership before you can enter, "to escort you out." With that, he turns and leaves. Racist patron and his friends take the L and ask me where the nearest retail outlet is that serves beer. Not a problem. We're on level 3 at the moment, so you'll need to take the 2 flights of stairs down to level 2. And then take a left and wander past the food, merch and toilet, and it will be on your left-hand side. Given their seats were on level 3, that's a fairly decent walk to complete several times throughout the game, and I'd like to think it gave them time to pause and reflect. However, I suspect that wasn't the case. And now we have reached the end of today's stories. Thank you for watching and see you next time.